Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Golden Nugget, I've done this one a while ago, and today's only objective is if we can trust GNOGs on their forecast and give you updates since the last one, especially with their earnings and expansions. So let's jump right into this one. So GNOG, it's been a while and we're back here with another video. If you'd like to watch my previous video, you'll find it in the description below. But since we had made the last one, they've expanded. Now we have Michigan website, New Jersey website, and there's more states coming in along the way. And starting off, we're going to look into their presentation from a little bit more than a week ago. And so this will give you a bit of perspective on the full year 2020 and the quarter 4 2020. So some of the GNOG highlights include Tier 1 Gaming, iFocus US Casino brand in New Jersey, successful transition to public company via SPAC transaction, delivered 91.1 million net revenue and adjusted 28.9 adjusted EPI-TDA in year 2020. As well as raising the full year 2021 revenue guidance between 130 million and 145 million, an increase of 51% versus 2020 at midpoint. And then market access agreement following from 6 to 10 states, covering 26% of all of US population. And they also won the EGR North America Operator of the Year and Mobile Operator Award in 2020. And so some of the performances that we're seeing here, and really nice hike from the full year 2020 revenue compared to 2019, almost getting in close to a double. They're actually sitting there around 64% increase, with revenues just in the last quarters being quarter 20 year over year, 48% over 2019. We can also move on here. You get to see that the 49% revenue CAGR 2016 to 2020, and we're going to talk about this one, that if this CAGR is actually trustworthy. And moving on as well, we're looking for their general increasing lifetime value. You get to see that Golden Nugget actually has 7 years of lifetime value per consumer or customer, which basically represents the contribution of player after 12 months. And for this, basically all it says is that the average lifetime value is around 2,200 in year 1, 7,700 in year 5, and 11,000 in year 7. So there's high, steady increasing in lifetime value. And a highly loyal and valuable player base until they lose all their money. I'm just kidding. I'm not here for gambling anyway. And GNOG CGR by yearly cohort 2013 to 2020, we see a 50% increase of 2020 CGR. We're going to move on as well. We're going to take a quick look into the iGaming versus sports GGR for the top 3 iGaming markets, including New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And if you go to their website, so far they have New Jersey and Michigan, and it's a no-brainer that their next step would be Pennsylvania here. And you can see that casinos go on around $241 million in Pennsylvania, in Michigan $23 million, and New Jersey $359 million, compared to respectively $712 million, $109, and $932 million. And so there's a lot of market cap there to capture. The US iGaming market expected to increase from $30 to $37 billion at maturity. We're looking as well further on in terms of some of the market accesses, including to 10 states. So that is something interesting there, especially with their new expansions and places for New Jersey, Nevada, Mississippi, Louisiana via the Golden Nugget land-based casinos. Now comes to the question, can we trust these values? And so let's come towards their 2020 estimates and compare them. So here, right off the bat, we're going to look back into their previous presentation regarding projected revenue. And we see the actual for 2019 here is 55. So we're going to go back to this one here. And they were talking regarding the full year 2019, 55. And so for full year 2020, the actual was 91 million. Which they in fact beat up from the 86 projected million. So right off the bat, good job there, GNOG. You've gained our trust in that. So there we go. We see, yes, we can trust them on that. They beat it up so far. So comes to the question next on SEC filings. And for SEC filing, institutional buyers first, we see that institutions are still picking this one. So that's a bullish thing. On a couple last actual transaction on the 31st, they went on a short, so that's something interesting there. Now, for their outlook, they mentioned, considering that we have cash on hand of around $77.9 million on the year end, and the redemption of our public warrants, which raised $110 million in cash through March 8th, 2021, And based on the current levels of operation, we believe that the cash on hand generated from our warrants and exercising generated from our New Jersey operations will be adequate to meet our anticipated obligations under our contracts, debt services requirements, capital expenditures, and working capital needing for the next 12 months. However, we cannot be certain that our business will generate sufficient cash flow from operations in the US as it will continue to grow in 2021 and beyond, and that our anticipated earnings projection will be realized. So, that's more of a thing that I need to mention there, but they have enough cash for the full year, and so that is something bullish. Now, before moving on towards just a couple more things, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button with the notifications on. If you'd like to click that like, it would be very much appreciated. And as well, if you'd like to join our Discord server, in the description below, you'll find a server link. It's totally free, no obligations. So some of the fourth or the full year quarter, we already mentioned all through that, but just for the fourth quarter, you're looking at a revenue of $23 million, operating income of $2 million with related expenses of $44.1 million, a net loss of $34.2 million after acquisition transactions. So biggest part of that was the acquisitions itself. And we also can take a quick look from here in terms of the ownership breakdown. We see that the general public holds around 65.2% of all the outstanding shares. So that is just listed within the last 12 months. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but if that's actually true, that's massive value there for retail and the general public. And now we can move on towards the technical analysis point of view. Now, technical analysis on a one-day perspective, we see this trading action zone between the 1550 and the 1440. And what that is a bullish trading action zone where positive reversals are most likely. And if it stands within there, you can actually see a sling upwards between the 10 SMA and the 30 EMA. The MACD here is reflecting up towards the positive side, indicating that perhaps it could be a bit bullish more forward in the future. And in terms of the moving averages, you're seeing the moving average band sitting at the top, 1674, in the middle, 1522, and in the bottom, 1369. And this bottom at 1222 could be just relating to general market trends. And you're seeing here that both stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both indicating there might be something to it here. On the Fibonacci retracements, we see the significant support, of course, being at 1222. Resistances sit at 1536, 1732, 1890, 2048, 2273, and 2259. Now, on a price line action, we see significant support, a very strong one that was resistance. It's currently sitting at 1355. Following that is the 1281 and then the 1221 or 22. Significant resistances, we're seeing a very strong one sitting at 1424. Above there, you're looking at 1541 and then 1658 and then upwards to 1797, jumping up to 1957 and then almost towards the $22 level. And then from there, 2293. And we see furthermore an increase. So comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? It definitely broke that downward trend, perhaps a channel a little bit, but hopefully this downward channel doesn't continue going on. Currently, the resistance off that is 1448. It definitely has a lot of interest in there. Their projections seem to be somewhat accurate from what they're anticipating. They're expanding quickly, and the pandemic is prolonged a little. We're not over this yet, so online gaming might actually beat their 2021 expectations, as they did mention. So for that, I think it might actually be a very interesting swing. What do you think about the ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.